Hello, it's another video here. So I want to have a look over the markets and see what's happening this week, and hopefully give you a few tips and strategies. Give you a overview of what I do that tends to work, what I do that does work, and just you know divulge that information because might as well, nothing to lose apart from the information itself, which, as a trader, in a sense, you're always evolving because as a person, you're always evolving. And the other thing is that, every single chart is different. They're all different. So every trade you get into is unique. So every trading situation that you're in is unique. People say situations occur over and over again. Certain patterns exist. Stephen Dux who's obviously very successful, has got on his wall, he's got patterns that he's got up on his wall that if he recognises those patterns happening, he'll enter a trade. So he's been very specific about that. Personally, I'm very lazy, very lazy. But I want to make money, So, but what I like to do is to, this is interesting, this AUPH here, is to look for stocks, and when I recognize and have the high sense of perception while I'm looking through. So being in a state where I'm on my A game while looking, and while picking. So normally what happens when I find a good stock to get into, I'm just looking, and I kind of forget that I'm looking, because this is literally what I do when I'm not being compulsive and doing stupid stuff, basically, when I'm not being very irrational and having absolutely no belief in myself, thinking that everything's out to get me, proverbially, because I don't really believe that, but I get in a physiological state, where that's the way I behave, behavioural state, which is ridiculous, really. It's like a learned, copied monkey type pattern, It's pretty bad, really. But so I'll just, this is a bit slow, this app, so it's a bit annoying, but I'm literally looking through, just jumping in and out. So for example, maybe it's like half. Well, let's have a look. So I probably want to jump straight out of that, So basically, I want my browser to work quickly because I literally look at the 15-minute and daily chart and look at it in a glance, So for example, say Snap was down there at 1475, I wouldn't really look into it because it's not a round enough number, But you still can, when you see like MRO, if you see that slowing down at maybe 1240, you see it slowing down and you're thinking, well, is it going to go up or is it going to reverse it? There might be a resistance point there. It's worth having a look. So if you see it at 10:30, you see it before it's dropped down to 11 a.m. You might look at it and just have a little look at it. Say, okay, that looks extended. It's stopped up there. Does it look like it might reverse? Obviously, it did reverse, but it might not have done. But you have a look at the chart, So this is a nice pattern. This has gone up in like a diagonal up. And, see, December the 3rd there, it's dipped down, and then the 4th it's gone up, and then December 5th it's dipped down, and then December the 6th it's stayed up, But it could have dipped down a lot more, It did, it had a little spike down to 12.10 there on December the 6th. But anyway, you're looking at 12.40, you might look at that and think, well, I don't know, and then you look at the daily chart. So I'm talking about looking at it in a glance, so I just, tried to articulate that then. But I want to look at it. I'm not really looking at the weekly chart. I do occasionally have a little look at it to see if there's any very strong levels on there. But in general, I whip to the 15-minute chart, whip to the daily chart, and just quickly have a glance. So basically, looking into a stock might be a case of about 10 seconds. You know, say, look, 1250. You can see straight away 1250 is a level. Okay, 1250 is a level. So I would see that. Say that was coming up to 1250 there. Okay. So say I saw that now. You know, say the 5-minute chart and the 15-minute chart, good. You know, I saw that. Okay, 1250 is a level. Quick look at the news. What's happening today? Is it basically? I want to know today, on this day that's gone up. Is the news good enough that it's going to push it above that, or is this sector, you know, all these correlated stocks massively breaking out? You know, look at the correlated stocks there. But in general, I prefer to trade. You know, sometimes it can get confusing with oil, and you know, because you don't know how each stock necessarily relates to the oil industry. You know, obviously it does in a sense. You can tell because it's got inversely correlated stocks there, which would be like, you know, that's an oil and gas bear index. You know, S&P oil and gas, and production. Export and production, I'm sure, you know. Anyway, look, that broke out above 10 there, but what am I doing? I'm confusing myself now. I never get confused, never. So yeah, you look at the news. So what's the news? So basically, I want to know, is that going to reverse at 1250? You know, I want because you can almost tell for certain if you look at the market conditions. You look at, okay, this is basic materials. So once I've seen a level and thought that, well, maybe I could short it off that level, you know, so the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, and the daily chart have matched up, and all the news is matched up, and the market conditions have matched up, which is not much information. And obviously, if I dip into a stock and the 5-minute chart and the 15-minute chart and the daily chart don't line up for a trade, then I don't even look at the news. So it might be 10, 15 seconds dipping in and out. But if I see one and then, okay, the 5-minute chart looks good, the 15-minute chart looks good, the daily chart looks good, it's coming up to a level I'm thinking about shorting it. Is that a good, strong level? How good is the 5-minute chart? How good is the 15-minute chart? You know, I wanted to do this video because I wanted to talk about this one specific stock. So look, basic materials is up there. It's all green. So imagine that was in the middle of the day. You know, you can see that it's a good day for basic materials, which is, you know, independent oil and gas. You'd probably have a look at the crude oil as well. You know. And then, obviously, looking at the crude oil, if it looks like it's going to reverse as well. But that's the thing, getting with these oil and, you know, all these stuff which are correlated, ETFs, bull and bear ETFs. You know, obviously, you know, you can figure out, but there's a little bit more information. Like with the individual stocks that don't have any correlated stocks, it's pretty easy because all you have to do is look at the individual news for the stock. You know, look down here at the summary news here. That's why FinViz is so good here. So you're looking down at the summary news, see what's earnings maybe, or if there's any news going on with it. You look at the last few bits of news, see what the feel is for it, you know. Because often there'll be news that says there's an opportunity here, and it's really low, so everything matches up. The news, the chart, you know, everything matches up. And you know, this is what I'm talking about. Is that I don't. You know, you can lose trades or whatever because you are playing the odds. I mean, I'm listening to this Mark Douglas stuff on YouTube, so definitely amazing trading educator. Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas. There's an audio book online, but also there's a DVD that he released in about 2007, I think, and there's 4-hour videos, and he used to sell them, and now they're free on YouTube. So Mark Douglas, you've got to check it out. It's just incredible. Anyway, I'm talking about strategy here, so I went off a bit. I was talking about looking through stocks as well, so this is also a bit of a tangent. Well, so anyway, 1250 is a level, okay, and say all the news matches up. I haven't even looked at the news. Let's have a look at the news for. This would have been December the 6th. It would have been a Friday. So what's the news for the Friday? Obviously, look at the time the news comes out as well. So December the 6th. Why is Marathon Oil down 4.1 since last earnings report? So it's just a little examination. Personally, I never read it. You know, I don't read it at all because it's a waste of time. You know, if I'm dipping in and out of stock and it takes me 15 or 20 seconds, I'm looking for patterns. All I'm looking for with the news and these upgrades and downgrades, and occasionally comments, but comments are a last resort. I normally don't even bother looking at comments, you know, because there's just idiots all over the place, and it's not worth listening to them. you know, but sometimes you can get a little bit of information, but you've got to be able to filter that, and that's quite a skill in itself. But that's very low on the scale of information, the stuff you get here. So you don't really need to bother with that, to be honest with you. You could get on quite easily without stock twits as well, quite easily. So why is it down since the last earnings report? So why is it down? So it's down. Why is it down? 12.50. Well, look, it got up to 12.50 towards the end of the day. Look, and it looks like a good short for Monday. I mean, it looks like you could have shorted this at the end of the day on this. Like if you thought it was going to be a bad weekend, so I don't know. I'm talking rubbish now. You know, I'm an intraday trader. That's what I'm doing. You know. So personally, I want to pick and choose really carefully, but I want to see them. You have to get in front of them. Like if I spend 10 minutes looking at a stock like that, 5 minutes looking at a stock like that, it's wasted all this time when there could have been something around the corner that was just incredible and so obvious, and you could have made a massive gain. And that's what I saw, one like that as well on this day, on Friday, and that's what I'm looking for. That's kind of why I did this video, because it was a whole dollar mark. It reached right up to that. It wasn't AUPH. AUPH was interesting because it would have been difficult, because you can see it between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. up there. It didn't know whether it wanted to break 16, you know, and eventually it didn't, but obviously it was a contentious point, so it wasn't an obvious one. But this one that I was looking at, it just reached right up, and when it hit the whole dollar mark, it was at a massive extension, you know. And if I'd have seen it, I'd missed it. But I definitely would have taken it if I'd have seen it. I know for a fact I would have taken it, you know. And I ended up, well, I broke even on Friday, but I lost fees. But I ended up losing, you know, a trade. And it was rubbish. When I looked back at it, I actually looked back at the trade that I took, and it was appalling. You know, it was there was nothing good about it. It wasn't obvious in any way. So, you know, obviously you keep learning and honing the way you go about trading, and that's why it's good. This Mark Douglas stuff is just incredible. You know, you need to, if you're serious about wanting to actually be consistent, you know, winning consistently, then it's invaluable with regard to the psychology. Trading skills is one thing. I mean, look at what this did at $8, but that was really early in the morning. They just reversed straight away from $8. Look, I mean, that if you'd have shorted that, you'd have made an absolute killing. And if you'd have had buying power on that, if you'd have had you know, margin 6 times margin, which is what you get with F1 Trade, which is the broker I'm using, then you would have made like a 70% gain on that, and you could have put a tiny little stop loss in, you know. That's why, you know, some of these trades, they don't have to be at a whole dollar mark, but some of the trades that you get in, you know, in general, I want to put a 6-cent stop if it's at a whole dollar mark, you know. I want to put a 806 in general, but it depends what the chart looks like. It all depends on how the price action is going, and you know, if you think it's going to go above $8, then obviously you don't get in at 8. You don't short it at $8. Sometimes you might see it at $8.20. You know, so you already saw it as an extension up to $8, and then, you know, maybe you've got a tab open of that stock, and you just happen to look back at it, and you were going to short it at $8, but you didn't, and then you see it up at $8.20. You know, then you can start thinking about shorting it up there. You know, I mean, you have to be real cool, tricky with that. You have to really understand the price movements and have a focus, you know, a kind of you're at one with the market, you know. That's getting a bit ninja style, but you're at one with the market, you know. But you need to know all the conditions to be able to take a trade. You want to know everything. You want to know the market conditions, the sector conditions, any news for that particular stock, and that's it really. And then the price action. So obviously in the day it's a lot safer to get into stocks, but you know, that's a bit of a cop out really, because a lot of people do all their trading in the first couple of hours. You know, people talk about different times of the day in trading, and they only trade the first 2 hours because it's the only time worth trading. That is BS. You know, that's absolute BS. Okay. plug there, bounced off $3, but you know, to get that, I mean, I don't know. You'd have to look at you'd have to look at the 15-minute chart and the daily chart. But I have to find this stock because it was so perfect. And had I been at my optimum, it's a possibility that I would have found it. You know, I might have missed it still, even if I was really looking through, you know, very well, you know, very intently and efficiently. I still might have missed it, but I probably wouldn't have missed it because I would have seen that it was going up to this whole dollar mark, and I would have looked into it, and I might have looked into it, you know, 10 cents before, you know, it got up to the whole dollar mark. There's quite a lot of pages to look through here, so you have to sit through this. You know, it's definitely it's definitely work as well. I would class it as work, you know, because it takes you know, consideration and time and attention. You know, it's not a living object, so it's not going to have any opinion about you, but it will yield results if you put the effort in to stay committed and focused for the period of time that you've set to trade, you know, every day, like a job. Sometimes you're looking through and you just start to not blankly, but you start to see what's going to happen. You start to understand, right, that's definitely going to bounce off there. You just know it. You look at it and you just, right, well, that's definitely going to bounce off there. And then it bounces off, you know. You didn't get in. That's what this, it wasn't INSG there, although that did bounce off at 7. Didn't quite hit it. I forgot my train of thought there, but I've got to find this stock. Hopefully you're picking something up from this video. It's a bit... You can probably hear the chore-like attitude in my voice, like I'm doing a chore here. Look, that bounced off $8. What could have been now? I don't know what it was. There's so many pages to look through, and like I said, this screen is slow, you know. Well, this app I'm using to record the video is slow. Normally my browser's quicker than this. You know, when I use Safari on my iPad, it's quicker. This has taken ages. You know, that did hit. Look at that. That could have been a good short there because that's on a downtrend there. So you want to look what's happening. So December the 6th, if you see that coming up towards $8, you would look at that and think, okay, that looks like a candidate for a short at $8. You know, even. But you want to look at the news, what's happened, you know. Tupperware. December the 4th, okay, December the 4th, aftermarket close. December the 5th, neutral Citigroup there. So even though that's a... it's been given a neutral rating up there, Citigroup, but it's been given a rating. So a bit of attention would have come to this stock, you know. I don't know. That's what I would consider it as. But Tupperware's interim CEO lifts the lid on his new sales strategy. So there you go. CEO's got a master plan. There we go. Look, December the 4th, 5:30 a.m. 4 ugly stocks that kick off my latest tax loss selling portfolio. So that's someone's written an article on thestreet.com about this, saying ugly, calling this stock ugly. So that's good if you want to short it. You know, that's good news for the shorters. Tupperware Brands Corporation. So November 26th, going back a little bit, you know. Unsecured ratings under review for downgrade, you know. You know, it's like leadership and declining sales, November 20th. But obviously you're looking at the more recent stuff as, you know, it's bad. But there, December the 4th, a little beacon of hope. Tupperware's interim CEO lifts a lid on his new sales strategy. So someone's putting some effort in there. So it's not all doom and gloom, but it's not good. I mean, I don't know how bad it's been for this stock for how long, but it doesn't matter because I'm only going for a day trade, you know. I don't need to know that much. So, wow, this is cool, you know. Looking at this daily chart, it's broken 8, so we can. It's low down anyway, so that's a bit of a red flag, you know. That it is low down anyway. It could be looking to break out of 8 at any point soon. So I'm gonna have a look at the weekly chart here and see how low it is down here. I mean, it's just been going down and down and down. But still, it could be looking to go up as well. It's broken 8 there. I mean, if you look at the diagonal, if you look at that there, you know, the way that's coming diagonally down, looks like it could drop down, doesn't it? And go onto this kind of... So if you drew a diagonal line down, this 785 would be down at about... It would be really down. See where that D is with the candle, the 785. The week that is currently on, the last red candle here, D. You know, if it was down at that red volume bar, you know, the top of that red volume bar, that's where it would match up a diagonal line if you drew a trend line down there. So in that sense, it looks like it's still got more room to run down. That's what I mean. But it's bad news recently, you know. A glimmer of hope at December the 4th, but you know, you want to look at what was the reaction from that news on December the 4th. So December the 4th, interim CEO lifts the lid on his new sales strategy. That article came out towards the end of the day, December the 4th, just in 50 minutes before the close of December the 4th. So 50 minutes before the close, I mean, even, you know, it dropped down again. So that was a bit of good news. It didn't do any good for this stock, did it? So it had that news, and then December the 5th it just dropped anyway. So that news didn't have any good effect on this stock at all. I mean, it could even be construed as bad news, you know. His sales strategy is so bad, you know. But anyway, putting stops... You know, you want to look for somewhere back in the chart. So you see December the 3rd there, the two candles that have come down there. You want to look somewhere around there, you know. Is there any type of... Or December the 4th at the end of the day. If you look at December 4th at the end of the day, the candles that are kind of bouncing off like a random level there, you might want to put a stop above there. So if I go interactive here. In this video, I'm finishing this video in a sec, but... Hopefully you got something out of this, because I'm giving you, basically, telling you what I know, you know, however much that is. It's pretty good. I'm pretty good with price action. You know, price action is not intuition or guessing. It's reading and understanding and making a prediction that you don't know. Every trade you don't know if it's going to work or not, but some of them are so good, so strong, you don't even care. That's the funny thing as well. When you see a trade that's that good, and normally the ones that work, this is what I tend to get. I don't care if it doesn't work, because I know how good that was. You know, all the information matched up, everything was perfect. You know, I got in at the right point. I got in at what I thought was the bottom tick, you know, the very bottom. And then it doesn't work, I don't care, you know, then that's it. And normally, when I get to that stage, where I've put on a trade and I don't care, I win, you know. Those are the ones that I win. Because I've seen it, you know, I've seen an opportunity and I've taken the opportunity and it worked. The ones that I'm umming and ahhing about, or, you know, I'm doing something else, I'm trying to sort my van out, trying to clean up while I'm doing it, or just not paying the required attention, you know. I'm a bit anxious about other things that are going on in my life, you know. Those are the times that I lose, and I do that a lot. So that shows that every single day, you know, I've got bad psychological stuff that intrudes into my, work. Well, it's because I don't class it as work. Because if I truly classed it as work, if I was truly classed it as being a professional, if I decided to make a professional attempt at it, and I know what a professional is, because I know how to act professional when I go for a job interview. But if I was truly being professional, then they wouldn't, that anxiety stuff might still be there, but it would be overridden by the necessity to trade, the necessity to work. Because if you're a professional, you have to work. When you go to work, you work. You don't sit there and think, oh, I don't need to work today. You're not a professional. You're not doing a job. You're not, you just... So, obviously, aspiring to become a professional. So, anyway, on that note, I would say check out Mark Douglas, F1 Trade, and, FinViz here. And learn the price action, look at it, dip in and out, look at charts, look when the markets are open, look through, look at the charts, dip in, 15-minute chart, daily chart, look at the news, know what the market is doing, the main market's doing, and bang, you start seeing them, you start looking, you start noticing that when you're really focused, when you're into it, when you're looking, you find them, and the ones that you predict that, that's definitely going to work, but you don't put your money in or whatever, work. But when you do put your money in it and you do that every day and you take... Basically, you get the combination of having the ability to take the risks every single day and be at that optimum professional stage trading level, where you're doing it out of necessity. Well, where you're focused, Anyway, on that note,